Hi, welcome to the small shed. This Saturday we're in the garden. See you in a minute. Now, there have been several comments in the past on videos about the garden. I can't take any credit for it at all. It's my wife's domain. I do the heavy digging, heavy lifting, landscaping and civil engineering work, and she does all the pretty stuff with the flowers. The one thing I have had some control over in the past has been the water features of whatever they may or may not have been. In this case we've got a pond, but it's well overdue for a fairly severe overhaul. The waterfall has packed up and was leaking quite badly. It's got overgrown a bit, and this year was down to be doing the rebuild of the pond. Now, it would be very easy to say I can't do it because I can't get any cement at the moment. I could probably get some delivered, but there's all sorts of bits I need from the garden centre that I can't really justify going out to, even if they were open, and I'm not sure about that. So yeah, you could just say, well, I can't do it, but my view has always been that you should just get on and do the best you can. So at the moment there are a load of things I can do in preparation. The first thing I'm going to have to do, whatever happens, is to pump out the water from the pond, and to do that, the best thing I've got to do it is the pump that we use for the waterfall. Now, that's stopped working, so I need to find that and sort that out. It's buried in the bottom of the pond. It's been engrossed by the water lilies that have grown into a massive thing that's taking over the middle of the pool, so I need to get that out. And there are a few other bits and pieces that I might as well just get on with while I'm there. When we get round to dealing with the whole thing, I could do with painting the fence at the back. I've got some 2-year-old that's been out all the while fence paint, but I'll give that a try. And we can, as I say, at least get the pump out, get it working again, check all the wiring, see if that was the problem or whether there's something more than that, and if necessary source a new one. But at least we'll know. We can be getting on with all that without any need to go out of the house. So let's go make a start in the garden and see what we can do. First thing to do was to get rid of the safety slippers, do me quick Jethro Tull impression, and get some garden shoes on at any rate. And then I went and got the ladders that I use for all sorts of things, workbench in the garden, support from my model railway, access to the house for painting and all sorts of things. Very useful things. They just fold up into about a 2'6" high block, but they will extend out to about 11 foot, I think. And that's really because the idiot that designed the pond didn't really allow a lot of room at the back to get at the back for access to maintain the fence or to do any work over at the back in the way of planting or anything. So I have to now bridge over the pond to get at it, and also to get access into the pond itself. Didn't really fancy ended up getting in the pond because it's although it's April, it's still a bit cold in there, and I've not got any wellies, so it's not particularly deep. In fact, I did wonder about draining it down with the grandchildren, but so far they've kept well away from it, and whenever they come I just put a big fire guard round it to keep them away. And you can see from the fact that I'm struggling there with the cord to get at the pump, it's just become entangled in that great big mass of water lily that started off as 2 water lilies in the middle of the pond in a basket, and it's now pretty much taken over the whole pond. And the cable and the pump had got sort of eaten into and surrounded by this great big mass. Managed to get most of the cable free, but really the whole water lily thing needed getting out, and I spent quite a long time just trying to get the thing loose, free from the bottom. All the roots had grown around the bricks that were supporting it, and all sorts of support stuff in the pond, and it's just become a massive thing that's taken over. I really struggled for about 10 or 15 minutes with it, and in the end the only way I thought I was going to get this out was to actually drag it, because I couldn't get a straight lift on it and get it out. It would have taken 2 or 3 of us, I think, to have got it out, and there really wasn't the access to do it. So back into the garage, have a quick look around and see, and I found some nylon rope that I've got, and I just managed to get that wrapped around it with a view to just dragging the whole load of this stuff out. It's not particularly arduous to do that, it was just that it was a pain to get at it and get the rope past underneath, and as I say, the water was pretty cold as well. But in the end managed to get that wrapped round, and with a lot of heaving and pulling, and I used one of the window boards that I use as a support to walk across. I managed to get it slid out of the pond and dragged up onto the patio, so I could have then at that point get a spade into it and start and cut it up. It emerged from the pond like some creature from the Black Lagoon, but at least now it's out of the way. We've chopped it up into 2 or 3 small plants, thrown the rest away, and replanted it temporarily back in the pond, but at least now I can get it in and out because it's in a small basket rather than this great big lump. What that's meant then is that I got the pump out, and really other than getting that repaired or replaced, there's not a lot more I can do to the pond itself. The edging stones around it need replacing. The waterfall itself needs taking apart, new butyl rubber liner put in. There's a small header pond at the top that wants remaking again with a rubber butyl liner, but really all I got to do now was just to make a start on tidying up this whole back area and just cut down the ivy on the next door shed. Unfortunately the ivy is probably all that's keeping the shed together. I'm not aware in probably 5 years, 10 years maybe even that they've been there, that anybody's ever been into the shed, so I'm dread to think what state it's in. It was something that was left behind by the previous owner. But we then cleared up all the mess, got the monster from the Black Lagoon cut up, and just really washed down the patio, ready to fight another day. Well, I hope that was of interest. Hopefully next week we'll be getting the pump apart and having a look at that. There's not much in them, so I hope it's not too much of a problem. We'll have a quick look, and if it is, well, we'll just junk it and start again. But I do like to try and repair things as far as I can, and whenever we've had problems in the past, it's just been stuff jamming them up more than anything. So hopefully we'll see you next week, and I look forward to seeing you then. Take care. Bye.